I'm fully prepared with everything I need for the Jay-Z documentary. The moment he sent that legal letter, I knew I had to let the world see who he really is. He and Diddy are cut from the same cloth. He just hides his arrogance and control behind a cleaner image. Our feud has lasted 20 years, and I know better than anyone what he's done in the shadows. I even suspect that so-called funeral bouquet wasn't Diddy's idea at all, but Jay-Z acting on his behalf. Back when Nicki Minaj posted that video of him wearing a pink wig, all I did was repost it, and he got so nervous he had his lawyers threaten me. In 2015, Nicki worked her ass off helping him build his platform, and he allegedly pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. And then there's his fingerprints all over key incidents through the years, whether it's the elevator footage or the guest list at Diddy's parties. He was involved, clearly, but somehow he always walks away untouched. That's what he's best at, pulling strings behind the scenes while pretending to be spotless in public. And now that a corner of the darkness has been ripped open, I'm not stopping. Everything my team and I are doing isn't about attacking anyone. It's about making sure the truth can't be buried by him ever again.
Jay-Z ain't answering the phone? He ain't answering the motherfucking phone. Hey, it's like this, like
We had a black billionaire's lunch.
black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
And we here together, and we gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
What if the most powerful man in hip-hop isn't the loudest one in the room, but the quietest? And what if the silence we're hearing right now is louder than any statement ever made? Because after decades at the top, Jay-Z is facing a wave of allegations, rumors, and questions that, allegedly, have been building in the shadows for years. And here's the part people miss. It's not just about Diddy. It's about a 20-year tension that never really cooled off. According to multiple interviews and public commentary, 50 Cent has made it clear he's been preparing a documentary centered around power, influence, and what he describes as hidden truths. He has suggested that the moment legal letters started flying, he knew something bigger was unfolding. He has publicly implied that Jay-Z and Diddy were cut from the same cloth, while also stating that his project isn't about attacking anyone, but about preventing the truth from being buried. Now, none of that is proof of wrongdoing. Those are his words, his framing. But then, why does this feel different from every other rap feud?
Carter aided and abetted or was directly involved. It's about to get real tense, and there's a lot of girls and boys who are still trapped.
The history between these figures stretches back decades. Industry insiders have described a complicated relationship between Jay-Z and Diddy, sometimes collaborative, sometimes competitive. Public footage shows them on stage together at exclusive events, billionaire lunches, award ceremonies, smiling, laughing, celebrating black excellence. And yet, critics argue that proximity doesn't equal loyalty. Some former associates have claimed that behind the scenes, the dynamic wasn't as tight as it appeared. That's their perspective, not a court finding. But it raises a question: how close were they really?
Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me, and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're gonna be crazy. It's gonna be the women.
As investigations and lawsuits surrounding Diddy intensified, online speculation expanded outward. Social media began asking why Jay-Z remained largely silent. Silent, of course, is not guilt. Legally, Staying quiet can be strategic, but here's where it gets messy. Some commentators allege that Jay-Z was distancing himself to avoid being caught in potential crossfire. Others insisted there has never been evidence tying him to any criminal inquiry. Both narratives exist at the same time, and that contradiction is fueling the conversation. Then came explosive claims from Jaguar Wright, who has repeatedly alleged that Jay-Z engaged in violent behavior toward her years ago. She claims she has scars to prove it. These are serious accusations. They have not been proven in court. Jay-Z has denied wrongdoing in the past when faced with allegations, and no criminal conviction exists tied to these claims. But the intensity of her statements lit a fire online, and that's where public perception started shifting.
Start snitching, he better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened to Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot. Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby while he was married to Beyonce. Was it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Oh.
Another layer emerged involving a Jane Doe accuser, who initially filed a lawsuit and later withdrew it. According to newly filed documents referenced in media reports, she claimed she felt intimidated and feared public exposure. She alleged that investigators connected to Jay-Z's legal team approached her and asked her to sign an affidavit retracting claims. Jay-Z's representatives have strongly denied any intimidation. No court has ruled that such harassment occurred. Still, the allegation itself added more smoke to an already heated situation. And smoke, fair or not, changes optics. Meanwhile, commentators like Dame Dash observed that this is the first time in decades Jay-Z appears to be facing sustained public scrutiny. Dame noted he had never seen Jay-Z under this kind of defensive pressure. Again, that's opinion, not evidence of guilt. But perception matters in celebrity culture. For years, Jay-Z was viewed as untouchable, strategic, calculated, rarely rattled. Now, critics argue that the silence feels heavier than before. Supporters argue that silence is wisdom. So which is it?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is. And you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
I ain't know anything about that, man. I ain't know about, Jay touching his, ass. I got to go see the video. I ain't hear about that.
Come on, man. Everybody's seen that. 50 even pointed it out. excuse me, when they was in ATL on stage. Remember when 50 bum rushed the stage with them?
Yeah, I think I recall that.
When Puff came on stage, first thing he did was pat Jay-Z on that. But I forgot. That's your favorite rapper.
Hey, him and Pockets 1A, 1B. But what's your issue with Jay, man? I didn't know you had an issue with him.
I'm never a fan of somebody that I...
Longtime industry figures like Gene Deal and Roger Bonds have also weighed in, describing what they saw as uneven dynamics between Jay-Z and Diddy. They questioned whether the friendship was overstated. They pointed to events attended or not attended as subtle indicators of distance. None of this proves conspiracy. None of it confirms criminal collaboration. But it paints a picture of tension behind luxury yachts and champagne toasts. And tension, over time, creates fractures.
These kids, these guys are, man, they'll cause situations and cause problems, and then they'll forget what they done because they on a whole nother atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that he did, you got to understand, like now he'll say that they're kids because he's raising kids of his own. You understand? But how would you like it that if Blue Ivory, 15, 16 years old, 17, 18 years old, dating in his early 30s? You're not going to go for that. No matter what she came through in Hollywood. But you got to understand, guys who was around there, we didn't know Jay-Z them ages. We didn't know these cats' age. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't having no beards and nothing like that. They was wearing low cuts. You understand? Clean face. I would have never believed when Jay was coming around the block, scooping up the young girls and stuff like that he was 30 years old. You know, if they 17, 18, 16 years old, and they 22, you thinking they 22, 23, something like that, 24 years old? They mom and them need to check them. They daddy and them need to check them. But that's not that far off. But for somebody to be 30 years old in their 30s and they dealing with kids 16 years old, 17, 18 years, now that's a problem. That's an issue. And now he see that because he's raising kids. And he got a young daughter. I think he got another daughter that he didn't claim, and now he claiming them. These cats was doing a whole lot of stuff that people in the industry won't speak on. And then now that you're speaking on it and it's becoming where is that you can get on YouTube and you could talk about this shit and say what you seen or say what you heard, you understand, or what you know. Some people look at it being a problem. But these cats ain't street cats.
Add to that the long-running rivalry between 50 Cent and Jay-Z. Tony Yeo suggested that competition and ego have always played a role. Stories resurface about the Super Bowl halftime show, where, according to Yeo, Eminem allegedly insisted that 50 Cent be included. These accounts are secondhand. There is no official confirmation that Jay-Z personally blocked anyone. But when competition blends with billion-dollar influence, narratives get sharp. And then, the darkest rumors. Claims involving Kathy White, allegations of behind-the-scenes manipulation, whispers that Diddy could snitch in hypothetical deals. None of these have been substantiated in court. They remain rumors amplified by interviews and social media commentary. Yet the repetition of those rumors is shaping public imagination in real time. So now we're here. Diddy faces confirmed legal battles. Jay-Z faces allegations, denials, and a growing cloud of public speculation, but no criminal conviction tied to these claims. The difference between accusation and proof has never mattered more, because in today's world, the court of public opinion moves faster than any judge ever could. And here's the real question. If power once protected reputations for decades, what happens when that protection starts cracking? Is this the beginning of accountability? Or just another cycle of rumors fueled by rivalries and unresolved grudges?
To see him in that, getting looked at in that way by white people, like Jay does, yeah. Like I hope that shit didn't happen, but I'm like, damn, they they turned the world real. Like people on a certain level have been fucking with him a certain way where he couldn't do no wrong for like 25 years straight. This is the first time he's not getting a pass with white media. You know, like he can control black media because a lot of them either work or do business with him. You know, but like, you know, Drink Champs can't get him out of this one, and neither can Charlemagne, because you know, those are the guys that hold him down no matter what he does anyway. So he got to get to People Magazine and Entertainment Tonight right now, because they on his head. But the question is why? Like why now? You know, because for me, I'd be like, yo, that's so ridiculous. Yo, take that to trial. You're not gonna win. Let's get a deposition or something. You know. So I don't know why they on his head so much. Pause. But I never seen him, you know, under this, you know, I never seen him in this position to have to explain himself. Pause.
How you feel about the statement he came out with?
I mean, I didn't hear him say anything. I heard a piece of, you know, like I said, for me, I like, you see, I'm doing an interview, so I talk. I thought it was long. For a statement, I thought it was long, pause. But, you know, I think right now, his silence is the worst thing for him if he is innocent. He needs to let people ask him questions, and he needs to be able to say his side of the story. As opposed, I would have said that he didn't know Puff at all or wasn't his friend. I thought that was a little extreme. I thought that was the wrong choice of words. I think that's going to trigger a lot of backlash. But the thing is, I never seen him get backlash at all. So that's what I'm saying. Now he getting backlash. Like, when do you know Jay-Z to be on his heels other than when he got beat up in the elevator? But that was nothing. But I've never seen him under the fire ever. Not in a long time. Not like, I've never seen people on his head like that, Paul. Ever.
Yeah, this might be my first time seeing people come at him like this.
Like I said, I didn't hear him say anything. Like, I'm not some white man speaking for another black man doesn't add up. It just doesn't work like that. Like, he doesn't know what to say on Jay's behalf. Jay would have to say that. So if he instructed him to say that, like, you don't even know if Jay told him to say that. He could have got off the stage and they was like, why'd you say that? He was like, I had to. You know, like, he probably said it because homeboy wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Like, I didn't hear him say anything. I haven't heard Jay say a word yet. Have you?
Nah, I haven't heard him say anything.
There it is. So y'all going by a piece of paper with words. Don't get caught up in that. I have not heard him say one thing yet. You know? Until I see him speak, he hasn't spoke to me. That's why I said I don't think he did not say that. His lawyer said it. So what else is a lawyer gonna say?
What if the most powerful man in hip-hop isn't the loudest one in the room, but the quietest? And what if the silence we're hearing right now is louder than any statement ever made? Because after decades at the top, Jay-Z is facing a wave of allegations, rumors, and questions that, allegedly, have been building in the shadows for years. And here's the part people miss. It's not just about Diddy. It's about a 20-year tension that never really cooled off, according to multiple interviews and public commentary. 50 Cent has made it clear he's been preparing a documentary centered around power, influence, and what he describes as hidden truths. He has suggested that the moment legal letters started flying, he knew something bigger was unfolding. He has publicly implied that Jay-Z and Diddy were cut from the same cloth, while also stating that his project isn't about attacking anyone, but about preventing the truth from being buried. Now, none of that is proof of wrongdoing. Those are his words, his framing. But then, why does this feel different from every other rap feud?
And there was this one part where 50 was talking, and he was saying, yeah, when Yayo was locked up, every G-Unit show, we actually put aside the money.
Bro, I told
for him, and he had like Yayo had like $1 million.
Right. I just told you when I came out of my building, I see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
There was no way I was getting shot there. And this is what I kind of tell you is like, what we was talking about stacks with the Porsche. 50's not going to let you say, get the Porsche. He going to say, let's get him out the hood first. You know, if the money's there, but the money has to be there for you to live like that. The money's there. 50 didn't have to do that. Rest in peace to Hervé from Interscope, because he always said to me, Man, 50 do more for you than any artist, than anybody does for their artists. More than Jay-Z.
The history between these figures stretches back decades. Industry insiders have described a complicated relationship between Jay-Z and Diddy. Sometimes collaborative, sometimes competitive. Public footage shows them on stage together at exclusive events, billionaire lunches, award ceremonies, smiling, laughing, celebrating black excellence. And yet, critics argue that proximity doesn't equal loyalty. Some former associates have claimed that behind the scenes, the dynamic wasn't as tight as it appeared. That's their perspective, not a court finding. But it raises a question: how close were they really?
The Cameron.
Yeah.
He made a statement recently. He said that Jay-Z loves money more than hip-hop. And he pointed out that Jay-Z performed at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame ceremony, but he didn't perform in any Hip-Hop 50 events.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy shit going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the, you know, the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
You didn't know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hater shit. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what? Some of the.
I mean,
the back
you
and
know,
forth,
it's competition. You got to think 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What was
yeah,
that?
But
9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember
yeah,
the whole,
of course, but 50 was
sneaker
50
thing?
was always competition for niggas. Then remember Jay said, "Yo, 50's coming." He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after niggas. He came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might shit on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro.
Yeah. To people, he goes into boardrooms and says to people, which I will never say, is he says, it's important for me to be a billionaire, you know, because black people need to be billionaires. And why does specifically he, at that time, I've had this conversation with white money people when they go, you know, it's important that Jay-Z becomes a billionaire. And I go, why? And they said, because he wants to open up a casino. You know, he wants to open up this. He should have an alcoholic brand. He needs to have a casino. He needs to have this. And you're like, why the fuck does anybody need a casino? Like another fucking casino
money
in this world.
And it makes it very possible for people to launder money all day.
Yeah. So like, why, even the fact that you want to become so powerful, then you're not saying because he needs to build schools for black people in black neighborhoods. It's because he wanted to build casinos for black people.
For them to keep wasting their money and then for him to keep getting them overpriced merchandise. It's a rat trap.
Yeah.
All of it is. The sad part is that hip hop has now turned itself over to this greed machine and doesn't realize it's time.
Puffy, why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the.
Puff felt they was close.
Oh.
But if you was a person on the outside looking in, like me and Uncle Paulie used to always talk about it, me and D-Rock was talking about, yo, why Puff kind of like sucking Jay off so much? You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be like, we done flew to 5 or 6, 7 different concerts that Jay-Z has. But Jay-Z is not at one of Puff's shows. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Rock brunch where Puff will break his neck to get to the brunch. But Jay-Z don't pop up at any of Puff parties. You know, now I can only speak up until 2012. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was breaking his neck. Like at the end of the day, in our mind, we said, yo, he ain't even invite Puff to his wedding. When he married Beyonce, Steve Stout and all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was kind of in his feelings, but once again.
Oh, Puff was upset he didn't get invited to the wedding?
Of course he was. Oh. You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, we're security, so we're bottom on a tote pole. So he's not going to show you that it really affects him until you have a little conversation with him, or you say something, or you overhear something. But he didn't get invited to that, you know. Yeah, Jay came through every once in a while. Like if we was in a yacht in San Tropez or one of these places like that, Jay might ride up, you know what I'm saying? And it's more or less to show, yeah, I got a yacht too.
Diddy's crew members frequently observed that Diddy attended Jay-Z events considerably more frequently than Jay-Z did for Diddy.
To me that all the time. I mean, Jay ain't really with Puff. It was no personal into it. It would be like if Ron Burgos is flying from LA on his jet, but Jay-Z just so happens to be going to New York too. We all end up on the jet flying back, those type of things, but nothing to go out his way and say, if we in a club, you might be downtown at bed or something like that. Jay-Z might be there. So they end up at the same table, you know what I'm saying? And it was times where I listen to the records now where Jay-Z said, yo, why should I drink Ciroc when why should I drink Grey Goose when Puff got Ciroc? This is something new that just started happening because I remember we almost got into a big altercation with Pecos and them because...
With Sean Pecos?
Yeah, because Puff was there and Jay and them was there and they had a bunch of Grey Goose bottles come to the table. And Puff felt like, yo, that was disrespectful. And he knocked over the Grey Goose bottles, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
I think I heard about this.
Fuck y'all niggas doing that for, yo, da-da-da-da-da-da. But Jay didn't care, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and Pecos came back to the house and explained himself, da-da-da-da-da. You know, I was eavesdropping and airdropping, you know, because like I said, Puff is always ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Emery had just came home and this, that, and the other like that, and they ordered Grey Goose bottles. Now, why you got 10 Grey Goose bottles coming to the table if you know I'm right here at the table and I got Ciroc? So there's a lot of different things that don't